If you don't cut my hair tomorrow,
Shalom.
Shalom.
This is a Waco Israel Ministries here on the Sabbath. We do thank the Most High for another week. And we do thank Him for another opportunity to go into His Word with you.
All praises to the Most High. All praise. Thank you for this beautiful Sabbath. Awesome. We look forward, don't we? I look forward to the Sabbath. Although we're on a lot during the week, but there's something very special about that one day a week of worship. And there is just one day, right, Josh? It's one day. And it's not Sunday.
And so we understand.
Just a little. Scroll a little. Okay. All right. Good. All right,
so good. We know, according to the Bible, that today is the Sabbath.
According to the Word. That's right.
So when you consider the layers and layers and layers of different things we have been taught to believe and have been taught to think about through our lifetimes, a lot of things don't make any sense, right? I've been talking a lot lately about under the importance of understanding cultures and where you are born. Where you are born in the world will most likely determine how you will live your life. If you are born in the West, you will be raised with a Eurocentric, Greco-Roman philosophical education system that leans toward white supremacy and racism.
Oh, true. Oh, true.
And you will be raised in the West with certain customs, like Easter, Christmas, and Thanksgiving, and all these different holidays, which we have been taught have something to do with the Bible through the Eurocentric lens of the Christian religion, which is primarily a European religion, which started in 325 AD at the Council of Nicaea. Yes, Christ did not come to start a religion.
Paul didn't teach Christianity, neither did Peter, neither did any of the disciples. That started, like what Josh just said, in the time of Constantine.
So Christianity as a religion, began with the Roman Empire.
That's right.
Which came, the Roman Catholic Church, my bad, after 300 and so years after Christ. Christ did not come to die to begin a religion. He came to redeem a people.
That's right.
Christ is not a religious figure or does not belong to the Christian religion.
Awesome.
Meaning that he didn't give authority to a religion that came 300 years after he lived. So, I want to talk about the Valley of Dry Bones a little bit tonight. But before we go into this, I found out something very interesting in word study this week.
So we'll be Ezekiel.
Let's go into 1 Timothy 4.
All right. 1 Timothy 4. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Give me some time to get it.
With the upbringing that people have had, excuse me, with the upbringing that people have had, when you go to certain parts of the Bible, you have been taught to see it through a perverted lens of European interpretation, based on the fact that we live in a country that was conquered by Europeans and is systematically ran on a Eurocentric slant. So when if you're a pastor of your pastor, you know, pastors, when they go to seminary school, they are taught a certain way to deal with the Bible. They are taught. They are taught more. What they are not really taught how to break verse by verse down correctly through as it is written. For example, that's how these theological people can train your young people who want to really teach the word right to believe that you can eat whatever you want. And one of the key scriptures they go and they twist it is 1 Timothy 4. Now, I'm going to show you exactly why 1 Timothy 4 does not say that you can eat whatever you want. 1 Timothy 4 and 3.
Okay, I'll read it. Everybody ready? Verse 3, right? Forbidding to marry and commanding to abstain from meats, which Ahayah hath created to be received with thanksgiving.
Stop. So, to better understand the Bible, certain things in the Old Testament, and you can download this app, this website I'm using on a smart device, a phone. It's called Bible Hub. It's right here. Go to your app store and click search for Bible Hub and install it, because it is very important to be able to have a way of studying the Bible better.
To understand it correctly. The Europeans have twisted the word to their own understanding. And the word even says in Proverbs, all right, lean not on your own understanding. So how do we get our understanding? Through precepts. Isaiah 28.
Okay. So because we have been okay, hold on everybody. Computer is slow for no reason. So while I'm waiting for it to go back. Okay, so I want to show you all something because it's very important to understand how how pretty much all Christian denominations are taught to break certain things down, not usually correctly because of the theological training they receive. Damn.
What happened, Justice? Went out? We on?
We're on.
Okay.
Okay, 1 Timothy 4:3, forbidding to marry, and that and created.
Forbidding to marry and commanding to abstain from meats, which the Most High had.
So, okay, I want the word for meats. And if y'all look here, it's not for meats. It's for foods. And the Greek word for that is Brahma. And it means, now how we are taught is that Paul is saying that you can eat whatever you want. But is that really what the word meats means in Timothy 1? I mean in Timothy
4:3.
4 and 3. 1 Timothy 4:3. So Brahma, it means food, especially ceremonial articles allowed or forbidden by the Hebrew dietary law.
Oh wow! Here it is.
So,
so we've been going there all the time. Right?
When Paul used this term "foods," he was talking only about the clean foods that were
handed down through Deuteronomy, the Old
through
Testament.
The law of
right.
the dietary law, or the Hebrew law.
The Hebrew dietary laws.
And it even says allowed or forbidden. So whatever food was forbidden was not even in the mind of Paul when he wrote this.
That's right.
So when he says commanding to abstain from meats, he was saying that we should abstain from the meats that the Bible tells us
not
are forbidden.
Are forbidden, that's right.
By the Jewish or the Hebrew dietary law.
That's right.
Right?
That's right. When we always go there, don't we? We go right to Leviticus.
And we understand, so, and why is that important? Because once you break that down, brothers and sisters, the rest of 1 Timothy 4:3-5 makes sense. So Paul, when he uses forbidding to marry and commanding to abstain from meats, that word for meats is the Greek word Brahma, which means foods that are contained in the dietary law of the Hebrews.
Right.
Foods and allowed or forbidden, meaning allowed to be eaten. So God has created meats which God hath created.
Come on.
Now God did create all food,
but not all food to be eaten.
He did not create all food to be eaten.
That's right.
So only the food that he allowed us to eat in the Hebrew dietary law can be eaten and received with thanksgiving by them that believe and know the truth.
Right, and that's Leviticus, what?
14 and Deuteronomy 11.
Right.
No, Deuteronomy 14 and Leviticus 11.
That's right.
For every creature of God is good, and nothing to be refused. So let's see if that word for every creature is really every creature. For every creature, the Greek word for creature there is kisemi, and it means
Kisma.
Product, creature, thing. Concerningly. So God created every creature that he allowed. Okay, so it pretty much means what it means. So God, according to the definition of, when we defined the word, and we got Brahma for meats, and that only pertains to the dietary law. The creatures that God commanded to be eaten or created or that are declared by Paul are good are only the meats that are declared clean in the law.
That's right.
If we see what they're saying, for it is sanctified by the word of God and prayer. So the word must first sanctify the food.
Right.
And then prayer.
Then you pray over it, because you go to Leviticus and you find out what you can and cannot eat.
So I want to, before we go into, I want to share a little of this video. Then we'll go into, what you call it?
Based on the farms of the Egyptian black.
So this is important because we know that Christ went to hide amongst the Egyptians. Now, why don't they explain this part of the Christmas story to us? Because this reveals, if you simply know what ancient Egyptians look like these two women.
That's right.
The woolly hair, the braids. So Christ was going to hide amongst blacks.
That's right.
Or black Hamitic people, which means that he must have looked like the people that he was hiding amongst.
Right. That's why if anybody went there to try to find him, it would be hard for him to find him, because he was amongst all black people, like himself. Correct.
And of course, I'm referring to Matthew 2:13 through 15.
Right.
Okay. So these are what the ancient Egyptians looked like.
Like,
but what Europeans have attempted to do to disprove this vast photo album is to give you implausible explanations. Here are some of the ridiculous claims being made by Europeans. First, they claim that the black skin doesn't necessarily mean that they were black, and that the braids, the afros, and the other Negro hairstyles were just headdresses. Some Europeans also claim that Egypt was not necessarily part of Africa.
Wow.
Mm.
Yeah, huh? Come on,
Another claim
sister.
is that the white race used to be darker and that they only lightened up in recent times. So you see, the dark images in Egypt are really just darker white people.
Felix wants.
Other claims is that whites used to portray themselves as black in ancient times.
Please.
Or here's another one for you. Here's a
I
dude.
might see it tomorrow, but give it to me
The
tonight.
black images seen on the walls of ancient Egyptian tombs are actually the images of those whom we conquered. And they also claim that it was common to not show themselves as white on the walls of Egypt, but to only show the images of their enemy. Now here's the last ridiculous claim being made that I'm going to give you. The black images or statues that you see are only dark because they darken over time, but they were actually white, Nordic, or Celtic people. Those are just a few of the outlandish reasons why Europeans are claiming to be the ancient Egyptians.
Egypt of the pharaohs was the greatest and the oldest
Right?
and the most inventive of all the high civilizations of antiquity. And it flourished for 3,000 years. It set a pattern and example for peoples near and far. But where were its roots, its origins, its starting point? Most of us have believed or have been taught that the glories of the pharaohs could never have been created by African people or African ideas, because it's been said Africans could never have built a higher civilization. And I imagine that most visitors conclude as they listen to their guides that a statue such as this of the young king Tutankhamun may have turned very black in the course of centuries, but could not have been a black man in the first place. It followed that the royal children were often black as well, as was King Senusret.
So I'll come back to this, brothers and sisters. I just wanted to share some of that information.
Is it fair to say there is no proof, Tanya, at all that black people came from us, white people? There's no proof of that. There's no proof at all. We came from them. They were on this earth first.
Absolutely.
And they have a problem with it because they're racist.
So, as we were saying, let's go to Ezekiel, the
What chapter?
37th chapter.
37.
From what?
Okay. I did not move that. Now let me go to chapter 37. Ezekiel 37. Read.
Okay.
So the context of this is a vision of the children of Israel being this is a symbolic vision of the rebirth of a nation. Now this did not happen. This rebirth has not happened yet. The people in the land of Israel.
The awakening is here now.
Actually, just to prove that,
Yeah, Josh.
go to Ezekiel 35, verse, I think, 5. Where's it? 36, 5.
Move it this way, Josh. Towards you, right? Move it towards you. Yeah, I can see. Chapter 35, Ezekiel.
No, it's 30. I meant 36.
All right, 36.
Why is
You got 33 there, changed it.
okay? Ezekiel 36 and 5.
Change that 46. Okay. All right, 35, 36 and what? Verse 5? Okay. Ready? Move that light this way, Josh. Move the light this way, Lou. Therefore, thus saith the Most High Power, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen, and against all Idumea, which have appointed my land into their possession with the joy of all their heart.
Now, what is this prophecy, and who is Idumea? Idumea, wait, Idom or Idumea is the children of Esau. So they have taken the land of the Most High in their possession.
The so-called land, yeah.
So now we don't believe. Here's a common way people would, people in Israel. That's the land of Israel. Well, in reality, it's most likely not. Remember, everything in this world is a deception. If you just accept it for face value.
That's right.
The true children of Israel are not in their land. And as a matter of fact, Africa was split up amongst the Europeans or the Edomites or the Edomenians, according to this. Now, why do you, everybody, follow me here. Why do you think that the European countries split up Africa amongst themselves only about 100 years ago? Usually when you divide something up or you seize land that doesn't belong to you, you're doing it to hide something. Maybe there's a land that they know exists in Africa, such as many people don't know this, but the Garden of Eden and the true land of Canaan is actually in South Africa, around South Africa and Botswana. And Zimbabwe.
Correct.
That's where the land of Garden of Eden's at.
Because you get a people that'll rob the ancient maps and change everything.
So the question is, why did they divide, especially West Africa, amongst each other? What's so important about West Africa that the Europeans have to split it up amongst themselves? Well, think about this. The Bible says, and I'm not going to go into this, but the Bible says in many scriptures, and if you have the Bible Hub app, you can look these scriptures up. Your land shall be desolate, without an inhabitant, deserted, right? There are many scriptural references, even Christ in Matthew 24 and Luke 13 and Luke 21. The Bible says that the whole land of Israel will be desolate.
So how can
wait. Will be desolate without an inhabitant, and all your cities will be ruined.
Look at that.
Now you can't live in ruins. No one's going to pay money to go see ruins.
Wow, you're right, man. All that building in Jerusalem and
so
trees, plants.
We believe, and of course you can find these scriptures on your own with the Bible Hub app, that those scriptures point to a fake people in a fake land. So they just put the name of Israel upon a land near Syria and Iraq, when really all the real Assyria and the real Babylon and the real Persia and all those real land places are actually in Africa along the Nile, like the land of Shinar, Babylon, Assyria, Media. All those are actually ancient African nations that were renamed by the Europeans.
So, watch this. So, if the Christ said himself that the land's going to be left to you desolate, so who are these people, and who are this landmark that they made Israel? I mean, in Jerusalem.
Let's go back to 37.
All right.
37:1.
37:1. Okay.
Ezekiel 37:1.
I left off it. Okay.
The valley of dry bones. Read.
The hand of the Most High was upon me, and carried me out in the spirit of the Most High, and set me down in the midst of the valley, which was full of bones, and caused me to pass by them round about. And behold,
so the bones are resembling of the Israelites.
Come on.
Who are in a spiritually dead condition in their captivity.
Right now.
The majority of the children of Israel don't know who they are and don't even know the Bible. And who are the Israelites? The Negroes and Hispanics.
Come on.
The true Israelites are the Negroes and Hispanics.
That's right.
The Jewish people are pretending to be someone they cannot.
That's right.
That is the children of Israel.
That's right. And behold, there was very many in the open valley, and lo, they were very dry.
So that means they're sparse. They don't know themselves. They are without covering.
Like the cub, right? The whelp, he staggers. And he said unto me, Son of man, can these bones live?
So that's what people ask. Is there a real answer for the so-called Negroes in America?
The so-called lost tribes. They're not lost anymore.
Is there an answer for why it seems that everything bad has happened to one people?
That's right.
And the answer is they are the Israelites. They are under a temporary punishment from their Father until they wake up and come back to their God.
Can these bones live? And I answered, O most power, thou knowest. Go ahead, Mary.
Again he said unto me,
take your time.
Prophesy upon these bones.
What? What's the word?
Prophesy.
You see the prophecy that's coming true now in the last days? Get Mary.
And say unto them, O ye dry bones, hear the words of
the Most High. Of the Most High. All right, what? Hear the word of the Most High, Christian church. Your bones are starting to wake up now all over the world. You're starting to realize who you are.
Let's say
Most High power.
Most High power unto these bones. Behold, I will cause breath.
So I will.
Watch this.
I will give my spirit. I will put my spirit upon my people.
Truth.
Before I return again.
And ye shall live.
And ye shall what?
And ye shall live.
And you're going to live again. You're going to know who you are. And I will lay sinews upon you.
Meaning, I will bring your
The
people
skin.
back together as
Right.
a unit.
Yeah, Josh. And I will bring up flesh upon you
Uh-huh.
and cover you with skin
Read.
and put breath in you. And ye shall live, and ye shall know that I am the Most High.
Read.
So I prophesied, here's the word again, as I was commanded, like they're being prophesied today. The children of Israel waking up all over the world.
Uh-huh.
Don't forget that link today. I need that, Josh. And as I prophesied, there was a noise, and behold, a shaking.
So the world
The
world is shaking right now.
Come on.
Because they can't stop
That's right, Josh.
what the Most High is doing amongst his people.
That's right.
The awakening is here, and there's nothing that can be refuted.
Come on. And the bones.
And the what?
And the bones.
So
Israel, the tribe.
The last move of the Spirit before Christ returns is the renewal and the rebirth of the Israelite.
Wow.
The Israelite people as a nation.
Came together. Bone to his bone.
So when the Spirit comes and the breath comes, unity comes back to the Israelites. Meaning they'll be one. They'll be one again through the Spirit of the Most High. Read.
All right, Josh. Sinew means the inner parts.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And when I beheld, lo, the sinew and the flesh came up upon them.
Wow.
And the skin
covered
them
above,
but there was no breath in them.
So that means people, the Israelites are walking around today
dead
without the true Spirit of the Most High upon them.
Because of religion.
Because captivity and man-made religion has deadened that spirit of unity.
That's right.
That the Israelites have.
Then said he unto me, prophesy unto the wind. Prophesy, son of man, and say to the wind, this saith the Most High Power, come from the four winds, O breath. And
stop. You remember Matthew? And I will gather my children from the four winds.
Uh-huh.
Come on, Mary.
These slain that they may live.
Wow.
So I prophesied as he commanded me, and the breath came into them, and they lived and stood up upon their feet, and exceeded great army.
Oh, wow. Wow. The 144.
Mm-hmm.
And more than that, too. I mean, not all Israel is going to be saved, but there's going to be an army. You know that false understanding in Revelation, Tony, about the two witnesses. Those are the 12 tribes. The two witnesses.
I want to go to Isaiah 1, Dad. We're going to hop around now. So I just wanted to point that out to give everyone out there something to chew on.
Isaiah 1 is good.
For the next couple of days. Ezekiel 37. Especially just, read the whole chapter.
Yeah.
But that's deep.
It's very deep. Now, hold on. Now, see, once you understand, like I spoke to these beautiful family in Denny's, when I came to understanding what my son and my family 8 years ago, I didn't understand that I thought I was reading about me. No, I was reading about another people in a race, a nation.
Uh-huh.
And it didn't bother me at all until I found out who I was really reading about. Awesome. Okay. Isaiah, I'll read. Isaiah 1, starting where, Josh?
Verse 1,
3. Ready?
Uh-huh.
Everybody have it? Isaiah? Yeah. The ox knoweth his owner.
So we know that an ox is a pack animal. So the Most High is comparing read.
And the ass his master's crib.
So the ass, an ass is a donkey. So Oxen know what they are, and jackasses know who they belong to. Read.
Yeah. But Israel
But the Israelites
doth
read.
not know.
Now, this verse cannot apply to the Jewish people.
No, no
This
way.
is a clear strike against the Jewish people, being the chosen people,
That's right.
because everyone says they claim something that they are, and everyone thinks they're the people. So they do have a land, a made-up land that they live in.
Mm-hmm.
Start the verse again. I just seen this too.
The
Wow.
ox knows his owner.
So the Israelites don't know who owns them anymore.
And the ass his master's crib.
Well, they know, but they don't really know of him.
Right.
They have an idea.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the ass his master's crib. Read.
But Israel doth not know.
So the Israelites, the Negroes and Latinos, have forgotten who they do not know. Read. My people.
Yes. Doth not consider
all people.
My people. My
all
people. See, because your identity was taken away from you folks out there. My people doth not consider.
So they don't even consider the fact that Christ looks like them.
Wow.
And he came for them first. Read.
Sinful nation.
Stop. Go to verse 7.
All right.
This is one of the verses that I was referring to.
Watch this. This is good, man. And don't forget the link I need. Don't forget, Josh. Your country is desolate.
Your what?
Your country is desolate.
So the real land of Israel today is desolate. Start that verse again.
Your country is desolate.
So right now, after the children of Israel have been out of the land for 2,000 years, that land is still desolate or deserted or without an inhabitant. Read.
Your cities are burned with fire.
No, people live in them. Your cities are what?
Burned with fire.
No, people worship in them.
Your cities are burned with fire. So where is this Jerusalem? Get your hands in.
Read.
Let's see.
Read. Come on, read.
All right, hold on. Your land, strangers devour it in your presence.
Wait, they do what?
Your land, strangers devour it in your presence. They took it. They robbed it. And it is desolate.
And it is what?
People bought it and nobody could live there. And it is desolate.
What?
Desolate.
No, it is inhabited.
Desolate.
It is inhabited.
Desolate.
So now let's break this verse again. Let's break this down. So the real land of Israel is desolate. The real land of Israel, no one is lived there, and it is deserted.
Come on.
Right?
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
What else does it say? It says,
where were we before in dry bones? Ezekiel 37, right?
And it is, and your land and strangers devour it. Now, strangers devour which land?
Mm-hmm.
Really, Israel, Africa.
Come on.
Right?
That's right.
Because all the Bible events happened in Africa. Egypt, the Egyptian, all the captivities were what we would call Afrocentric lands in the land of Africa that has been divided up amongst Esau, the European elite, and renamed.
Where was that, Josh? Isaiah what? We just read?
1 and 3. Now we're 1, 3, and 7.
1, 3, and 7. Okay. Where's my page? I just read it. What happened to it?
You turned back.
I must have. Oh, it must have came out. Oh, here it is. Yeah, I gotta get that. Okay. Oh, this is great. That's 1. Well, where's 1? Oh, that's my page. Jeez. I lost my page. Go ahead, Josh. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'll find it. It's here somewhere.
Okay, so
I just read it.
I wanted everybody
Okay, George.
So I want to show you all something here.
That's you.
This goes here. Didn't I just read it, which is me? Amazing.
Isaiah 1:3.
1:3.
I know. Did I drop it? Did it fall out of the blood?
No.
You believe this? It just disappeared?
Leviticus 26:23, 33.
Leviticus what?
26:33.
Oh, here it is.
32.
I got it. I got it, Mary.
32.
Yeah, because I don't want
Leviticus what?
to. Leviticus what, Josh?
26:33.
Is it something to do with this we're talking about?
Uh-huh.
Hold on. Leviticus what? 33?
Uh-huh.
26:33.
Oh, 26:33.
23.
Huh?
26:33.
Okay, 26. 30,
Okay.
30. And don't forget, I need that impression. Need that link, right? Leviticus 26, 23,
33.
33. All right.
Says it right there. And I will scatter you among the heathen, and will draw out a sword after you.
Wait. I want to follow. Hold on. I want to see it. Sit back, John. I can't see. Now, where is it?
26:33.
33. Hold on. Let me get it. And I will scatter you among the heathen, and will draw out a sword after you, and your land shall be desolate, and your cities waste. Wow, there it is again, man. Wow.
And obviously,
And wait, look at this. Look who's prophesying, Mary. The prophets. Way before Tony, right? That they claimed that land's theirs?
Yep.
Wow.
so that's Moses giving.
Wow.
We were in Isaiah 1:7.
Isaiah 1, 3, and 7, Ezekiel 37, and the whole chapter, right? Yeah, the whole chapter. You should read the whole chapter.
And
Now we just read
Oh.
Leviticus 26:33.
Uh-huh.
Now Matthew 24.
Oh, yeah, this is good. Yeah.
Matthew 24.
See, they always got something to say, Christian, if it's not in the New Testament. I said Matthew, Mark, and Luke, and John are not the New Testament. Matthew what?
Hold on.
24.
Was it, Tony?
24.
Oh, right. I got it. I know where it is. Okay. All right. No, go ahead, Tony. Try it. Matthew. Hold on.
27.
Matthew 24. I think it's, around 30, Josh? Or 26 or something? Where is it, Josh? Matthew what? 24 what?
At the top.
Right at the top?
At the top.
Oh,
Read
chapter
24:1.
24:1. Matthew, right? And Yashayah went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him.
Now, this is a complete description of what would happen in 70 AD to the whole, not only Jerusalem, but in turn the whole land of Israel, of ancient Israel. Read.
And his disciples came to him for to show him the building of the temple.
Of the what?
The buildings of the temple.
So this is talking about essentially Jerusalem. The temple is in Jerusalem. So whatever would happen to the temple would end up happening to Jerusalem. Read.
And Yashayah said unto them, see ye not all these things? Really I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another.
Wait, no, there's a wailing wall. There shall not be left.
I just thought about that today. Look at that. And there shall be left not there one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down.
Now, go to verse.
I thought you were going to hit desolate. That's all I want. I want that. I want that. Left to you desolate, Josh.
Go to verse 15.
All right. Verse 15. Ready? Get back.
Read.
Hold on. When ye therefore see the abomination of desolation spoken by Daniel the prophet stand in the holy place, whoso readeth, let him understand.
Now that's talking about the Roman armies, and they called them the abomination of desolation.
Wow.
Meaning they are coming to make your whole city desolate or destroy it. And then let them which are in Judea flee into the mountains.
Uh-huh.
So the Bible clearly states that go to Luke 21:21.
Yeah, but I want to see, is desolate in here? The word desolate? Is it in here? 24? I want to see where that is first.
Go to Luke
Oh, it's not in
21:21.
here. Okay, Luke, hold on. Luke what? Luke 21:21. All right, okay. Hold on. Luke 21:21. All right, Mary, read 21:21.
Hold on.
Wait.
I want to read some. Before you read 21 and 21, read verse 3. Verse 5. Luke 21:5 says, and as some spake of the temple.
Luke where? Sit back.
20.
Oh, fine. Yeah, Josh. Yeah, I see. Yeah, Josh. Yeah.
And as some spake of the temple, how it was arrayed, adorned with goodly stones and gifts, and he said, for there shall these
things.
As for these things which ye behold, the days come when, and in the which there shall not be left one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. So not only the temple will be destroyed, but Christ is given an entire prophecy of what would happen to the land of Israel. The whole city of Jerusalem would be left desolate.
Wow. Wow.
21, Dad.
All right.
Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains, and let them which are in the midst of.
Wait, no. 20.
And when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies.
So Christ is telling us when this would happen. In 70 AD, the armies of General Vespasian and Titus surrounded the entire city of Jerusalem and destroyed it down to the ground.
Wow.
If you even research it, there's records of them destroying the entire city and killing multiple people that wouldn't flee. That's why Christ told those who believed in him to run to the mountains.
So the government and United Nations made up that place and told the serpent people that's Israel.
Or they just put a name on the land.
Wow.
Then know that the desolation.
The what?
The desolation.
The what?
The desolation.
No, Jerusalem is still inhabited.
Wait,
the
where's
what?
the verse? Wait, where's the verse?
Know that the what is
Huh?
near?
Yeah, almost the end of 20.
Hold on.
Know that the what is near?
Desolation.
No, it's inhabited today. The what?
Desolation.
Wait, the end of what?
20, verse
20.
20.
Hold
Know
on.
that the desolation is thereof nigh. Right?
No, it doesn't say it in there.
Yes,
End of
it
20.
does.
Oh, end of 20.
And the
And
20.
of 20.
Oh, yeah, I got it. Okay, 20. All right.
So Christ out of his
Thank
own
you.
mouth told us
Come on, Josh.
in two places in the new covenant,
Look how much we're learning.
right?
Wow.
That the city of the modern the city of Jerusalem after 70 AD would be completely destroyed. There would not be a people living there. Now let me say that again.
I write it here. It's right in the book.
Christ said in the New Testament that Jerusalem, the real Jerusalem, will not be inhabited and will be desolate.
Wow.
So if we see a people in a city called saying that it's Jerusalem,
Wow.
that's not the real Jerusalem. The real Jerusalem is in Southwest Africa.
So when he said when he said flee to the mountains, Josh,
somewhere in
somewhere west mountains,
Namibia.
the mountains would be like the west coast somewhere, right?
Well, they were already there.
Oh.
So they just went somewhere where they were already.
Oh, I see.
So
I just go to 20 now on that. That's good. Where it says desolate, yeah.
And that's it.
And ye shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captive. So the real Israelites aren't even in their land.
24 then.
Because the Israelites would be led away as slaves into all nations. And Jerusalem, or the real land of Israel, shall be trodden of the Gentiles. Now, what does this mean?
Look at that.
This means the real land of Israel will be divided up amongst the Gentiles.
Isn't that right now, right?
And that's what happened. In the late 1800s and early 1900s, at least five or six European nations divided West Africa amongst themselves. Why? Because they're trying to hide the real location of the real Jerusalem.
Wow.
And the real Canaan land and the real Bethlehem and the real birthplace of Christ. Why? Because if you think about it, Turkey and Israel and Turkey is right next to Israel.
But that's Turkey, Tony, or Syria, that land there. And they must
Think
have
about
made a deal.
this.
The government must have made a deal with them, our government.
Right?
The Rothschilds must have did this.
And that Middle East is not the real Middle East either.
Well, there's no such thing.
No such things in the Middle East.
That's a term they made up.
They made a name up.
So,
well, we've been duped, huh?
So what happened is
So we know now.
the real Jerusalem is in Southwest Africa. Okay? Christ out of his own mouth said that the real Jerusalem and the rest of the whole land of Israel would be desolate.
Check this out. Watch. And Christ spoke about him, and Jeremiah. I bet it's in Jeremiah too, huh? It's got to be. Because he mentioned all of that. Remember when he spoke?
Uh-huh.
I'd like to find it in Jeremiah, Josh. I know it's there.
I want to show.
Don't forget the link if you're done. Don't forget. I want the link to that program when we go on. So he wants that. He wants that. He said, can't be, but I said, no, it is. We found out. I'm telling you. If I didn't believe this man and this ministry, his face page, or what he's teaching, I would have never accepted it. When the Spirit deals with you and tells you it's something right, then it's right. You don't have to question the Holy Spirit, right?
So,
you got to tell a man though, Josh.
Excuse me, everybody. So, as we clearly see, one more thing here. Go to Obadiah.
Obadiah.
Last scripture.
Obadiah.
Obadiah 1.
This was really good tonight.
What's on?
Obadiah. In the minor prophets.
Yeah, right after Amos.
Yeah.
Almost.
Is it near Hosea? Oh, it's
Obadiah, right after Amos.
right after Amos. Okay. After Joel, right? Keep going, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Amos. Okay, then Obadiah. All right, what's in here, Josh?
21 chapters, so
Wow.
what verse?
1.
Oh,
Obadiah chapter 1, verse.
hold on, let me write it down. O-B-A.
Obadiah 1 and verse 9. Verse 10.
Obadiah 9, verse 10, Josh? 9, 10. Okay, hold on. I'll read it, Mary. 9, 10.
Obadiah 1 and 10.
Oh, Obadiah 1, 10. Sorry. Ready? For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever.
So the Most High is going to destroy the seat of power of Esau, which is America eventually. Read.
In the day that thou stoodest on the other side, in the day that the strangers carried away captive his forces.
Now this is talking about what, 70 AD,
Wow.
as we would know it. When Rome conquered and destroyed Jerusalem.
How's that?
Foreigners entered
Josh.
into his gates.
So the real Jerusalem,
Foreigners. Wow.
foreigners,
Come on.
foreigners are in the whole land of west of Africa, southwest Africa.
Wow, and cast lots on Jerusalem.
So what does it mean to cast lots? So the Europeans came together and said, we decide to start buying up countries and land in Africa. Why? Because they know the real Jerusalem is in southwest Africa.
Wow.
The real biblical land of Canaan, the Garden of Eden, the real Canaan land is all in in Namibia, Botswana, South Africa, and all those areas is where all the biblical events took place.
Wow.
The real Bethlehem is in Africa, is in Namibia.
That's right. Wow. Yes, I got no problem with this. With the other one I do about those brothers, about the United States being the old.
Read verse 11 again.
I'll read it. 11. In the day that thou stoodest on the other side. What does that mean, Josh, on the other side?
Read.
In the day that the strangers carried away captive his forces. I know that. And foreigners entered into his gates. All right.
So that means Esau now controls, has divided Africa amongst themselves. Read.
And cast lots upon Jerusalem, made bargains of who would own
what land of
Jerusalem. Wow.
or no, who would own what country?
They shared it. Wait, remember when the soldiers shared Christ's what? That thing? Right? They cast what?
Lots.
And they all took a piece.
Read.
That's what they did. They took a piece of Jerusalem. But even thou wast as one of them, a thief. But thou shouldest not have looked on the day of thy brother, in the day that he became a stranger.
Read.
Neither shouldest thou have rejoiced over the children of Judah in the day of their destruction. Watch out.
So when Rome finally came in, they destroyed it, everything. So there would be no inhabitants. There would be no one living in the land of Israel anymore. It is desolate or destroyed. Read.
Of their destruction, neither shouldest thou have spoken proudly in the day of distress. Thou shouldest not have entered into the gate of my people in the day of their calamity. Wow.
So
they entered in. Look at that.
So that means they started dividing the land amongst each other and claiming it as their own.
Wow.
Read.
Okay. nor have laid hands on their substance in the day of their calamity.
Okay.
Wow, that's awesome.
So we're
Good,
going to
Mary,
listen to some of this and close.
Yeah, isn't that good?
But for those
Josh,
who
what's
don't
that link?
understand,
That brother.
let me break it down for you.
Don't forget. Don't go walk
It
away
is
now.
very common for the
After we're
couple on
done.
the left to be able to produce any of various shades of skin color when having
No,
children.
I gotta bring people. I gotta bring
However,
people scriptures.
the couple on the right are only able to produce
Because I know they don't
children
read
of a
like
shade
us,
of skin
so
color
I gotta
after
bring
their own
scripture to them.
kind.
Don't forget to
Here
give me
are
that
examples
that
of
link
children
tonight, right?
produced
What's
by
it called,
black
that brother?
parents.
What's it called? I'll put link on to. Take a pill, John. Link. Hold on.
While we have many examples of the couple on the left producing children of various shades, the couple on the right can never produce a child that looks like Wesley Snipes. When the topic of Ham, the youngest son of Noah, is brought up, Europeans love to bring up the person passed down by Noah. They like to use that to claim that the whole black race was cursed. You know, even that was done erroneously because Ham was not cursed. Only his son Canaan was cursed. You know, they also failed to mention that Ham had 4 sons. He had Cush, Mizraim, Put, and Canaan. And you know the land of Egypt was originally called Mizraim after the original founder.
Yeah, John.
You know, the son of Ham. So that clearly shows that the original progenitors of ancient Egypt were black people.
Yeah.
Mizraim was the original Hebrew name for Egypt, as reported in Genesis 50 and 11.
This is a grievous warning to the Egyptians. Wherefore the name of it was called Abel Mizraim, which is beyond Jordan.
This is what Flavius Josephus writes concerning Mizraim. Now all of the children of Mizraim, being 8 in number, possessed the country from Gaza to Egypt, though it retained the name of one only, the Philistine, for the Greeks called part of the country Palestine. Antiquities, Book 1, Chapter 6, Verse 2.
Start renaming people and places. Replace African names with Arabic and European names. This will disguise their true black identity.
A few years back, I had a coworker that was from Egypt that spoke French. After doing some research, I discovered that French is like a second language to Arabic for most modern day Egyptians.
Don't forget that link, okay?
That we see these people
Look at this. Look at
in the
this.
land today as Egyptians when the ancient Egyptians showed
See
themselves
that? Look at
as
that,
number
Tony.
on the walls of Egypt. There's a reason for this. In the days of Napoleon, Egypt was an Islamic country ruled by Arabs. When Napoleon conquered Egypt, he was shocked to see strong African features on the giant Egyptian statue.
Because they have big noses. Like the
Count
Afro-Americans.
Constantine de Beaumais, during a trip to Egypt from 1783 to 1785, said this, and I quote, he says, "On seeing that head, what head?
There's nobody
The
prejudiced.
Sphinx of Giza.
Huh.
Typically Negro in all its features. I remembered the remarkable passage of Herodotus. The ancient Egyptians were true Negroes of the same type as all native-born Africans." Now, I want to ask this question. What would motivate him to say this phrase, typically Negro in all its features? Could it be perhaps this? This was an artist's conception, Vivant Denon, who accompanied Napoleon's army, 1798. This is his artist's conception of the Sphinx of Giza. Before what happened? Before the lips and the nose were shot off by Napoleon's troops. That is verifiable because Dion was an
Napoleon did
eyewitness
that,
to those lips and nose, the lips and nose being shot off by the soldiers. Why did they do it? We cannot climb into their hearts in the 21st century and figure this out, divine the entrails of fraud, and try to figure out why they did it. That's between them and God. But what happened, happened. And so when you look at this, you know that this definitely was patterned after an African man, regardless of who the identity of that man was.
Well, I just want to get the link. About the nose and the lips that caused the French to destroy the statues. Just look at the number of statues with the nose removed.
Oh, he's exposing that, brother. You don't want to tell me the truth.
The noses and the lips told a story about these people. A story that the Europeans did not want to hear. A story about a great civilization of black people that once ruled the world.
Come on. That's right.
What did the ancient Egyptians look like? Their women wore braids. What people on earth to this day are known for wearing braids? Braid salons today are a multi-million-dollar business, and the majority of their customers are black women. Some of these braided hairstyles are identical to the styles women wore in the days of the early Egyptians.
Yes.
Even some of the men's hairstyles are similar.
See that white women?
And I doubt if I've ever seen any Caucasians wearing any of these hairstyles.
That really pisses me off.
Yes, when reporting ancient African history, reverse the
Devil always has his people.
No matter how dark the skin, woolly the hair, or thick the lips, you don't have to be a Negro.
What? That's a racist, folks. If any of you black people are listening tonight.
Ignore. Just refuse to publish any facts of African history that don't go along with our racial theories.
Whitewashing this history, you ain't kidding. This is just what happened.
It is often said that color and race shouldn't matter. If that were true, why did Europeans deceptively change the images of historically black people to white? If color and race didn't matter, one must ask, why then was the history of black people whitewashed?
It don't matter.
Always has ancient biblical characters.
That's their famous saying.
This deception programs the viewer to envision white people when reading scripture. During the Renaissance period, a huge makeover of history took place with a paintbrush and a lie. And laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen hath sought to paint the likeness of their images. For thy sanctuary is trodden down and profaned, and thy priests are in heaviness and brought low. 1 Maccabees chapter 3, verse 48 and 51.
Today, there are only 66 books in the Bible. The late 19th century 1611 King James Version Bible, used by clergy and church members, contained 80 books. Who removed the other 14 books, known as the Apocrypha, out of the original Bible? There are several passages in the Bible that mention books not included, such as the book of Yashayah.
That's right.
2 Samuel chapter 1, verses 17 to 18 in the King James Version. And David lamented with his lamentation over Saul and over Jonathan his son. Also, he bade them teach the children of Judah the use of the bow. Behold,
Is it
it
not
is written in the book of
Joshua?
Yashayah. The book of Yashayah is mentioned in the Bible, but the book itself is not included. There are actually hundreds of scriptures and transcripts that were found and not added to the Bible. This was done by the same people that changed and distorted history. Why? Did they have something to hide?
Yeah, you better believe they do.
The book of Enoch contains some very interesting information in which many Christians are not familiar with. Western scholars believe that the book of the Watchers, which is contained in the book of Enoch, date from about 300 BC, and the latest portion, the book of Parables, was probably composed at the end of the 1st century BC. This pretty much validates the book. Not to mention the Tertullian, 160 to 230 CE, even called the book of Enoch Holy Scripture. The Ethiopic Church even added the book of Enoch to its official Bible. It is wholly extant only in the Ge'ez language, with Aramaic fragments from the Dead Sea Scrolls and a few Greek and Latin fragments. This information alone has proven the authenticity of the book of Enoch.
What's his link? Josh. I want to get this tomorrow. What's the name of his link, Josh?
It's generally taught in the churches today that Noah's 3 sons, Ham, Shem, and Japheth, represent 3 groups of people. Ham, the black man, Japheth, the white man, and Shem, everyone in between. If you look a little closer in the scriptures, you'll see that it reveals the truth about those 3 boys.
And after some days, my son Methuselah took a wife for his son Lamech. And she became pregnant by him and bore a son. And his body was white as snow and red as the blooming of a rose. And the hair of his head and his long locks were white as wool, and his eyes beautiful. And when he opened his eyes, he lighted up the whole house like the sun, and the whole house was very bright. And thereupon he arose in the hands of the midwife, opened his mouth, and conversed with the Lord of righteousness. And his father Lamech was afraid of him, and fled, and came to his father Methuselah. And he said unto him, I have begotten a strange son, diverse from and unlike man, and resembling the sons of the God of heaven. And his nature is different, and he is not like us. And his eyes are as the rays of the sun, and his countenance is glorious. And it seems to me that he is not sprung from me, but from the angels. And I fear that in his days a wonder may be wrought on the earth. And now, my father, I am here to petition thee and implore thee that thou mayest go to Enoch, our father,
So it's Enoch black? That's awesome, Josh.
So,
Awesome.
as we had clearly shown, I hope everyone enjoyed that.
Want to watch that brother? You can listen again to it. It's going to be good.
So we do thank the Most High for the Sabbath, and Shalom.
Shalom. See you.